What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Force Strategy Gaming. Today's StarCraft 2 game is going to be between MVP's Genius and AKARAKA. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Honestly, I don't know. Never commentated a game with him before, and I see AKARAKA, so that's how I'm going to say it. Anyways, yes, our blue Terran player in the lower left-hand spawn location is AKARAKA, and then right over here in the upper right-hand spawn location, we of course have got MVP's Genius. Clearly the more well-known of those two players, but still have really no idea how this game is going to go through. As always, don't pre-screen these, but I do take a look at basically the voting. Or if someone sends me a game and says this game's amazing, I try to get those commentated. If they really are, you know, good. Hopefully, knock on wood is basically what I hope for most of the time. But anyways, yes, Genius versus AKARAKA, PVT, TVP here. Been a couple of TVZs lately. I wanted to mix things up a little bit. I'm still looking for those mirror matchups. Fret not, my friends. Again, I'll be frank with you. There's just really not a lot of them available on the replay sites. We don't see a ton of mirror matchups. But you know, after this game, I promise, immediately after this game, I'm going to hunt for a mirror matchup and I will cast it. I promise. Boy, if I don't do this, I'm gonna get burnt at the cross. Anyways, back over here, we can see Gateway coming through for Genius. Same time moving out with his probe scout. Now, on this map, there are only 2 spawn locations, so you will always know where your opponent is. Genius, of course, will be heading straight over to AKARAKA's base, bypassing that Zelnaga tower. Don't expect him to actually grab that. No reason to pull off track. There's really not much information he could get. Again, he knows exactly where AKARAKA is. He just really wants to get to his base as soon as possible. One SCV hiding down over there. Ooh, and I think he might have bypassed the vision there of that probe. So I don't know if the probe actually saw that SCV moving out. Now, very telling sign here. No refinery for AKARAKA. That leads us to believe that there will be an expansion. And let's see, is he really going to do it? Is he pulling down there, or is he just scouting with that? I felt for a moment that he was actually attempting to build an expo down here. As risky as that would be, that could really work if Genius didn't scout it out at all. But no, the expansion will be moving down at his natural. First Marine is up, and that is, of course, forcing that probe to move away. And the SCV scout now patrolling down there at the natural, as Genius is almost expected right now to go for a 1 gate expand. I'm just assuming that is what he's going to be doing. It does appear like that is the case anyways. We will be seeing a Stalker being chrono boosted out first, possibly even 2 Stalkers before we do see that expansion. Probe scout moving down, and there it is, spots the expo, so hopefully he goes ahead and responds with a nexus of his own, just to try to compensate for that. We've got one SCV in the main base. That's going to get taken out here by the Stalker, as he is just about to pop, and there we go. Stalker moves out. The SCV is a goner. Just a little bit of micro is all that Stalker needs to stop that SCV from leaving the base. And we do actually have that Marine that was attempting to chase down this probe. As we can see, though, probe has made it safely back to his half of the map, so he should be able to head back home. And there it is, Genius coming out with that expo, and not coming out with that second Stalker, especially after he scouted that command center being dropped so early, just after that 1 Rax. He then immediately after getting that first Stalker and scouting that, just dropped his own Nexus. Probe grabbing the first tower. Second tower will be going to the Stalker. We're going to want SCV moving down here. Stalker's going to want to chase that just to figure out what he is up to. And the SCV, I don't think he's going to really have much of a chance here either. It looks like the Stalker will be chasing down the second SCV kill so far this game here for the Stalker. What a baller. Taking some early game econ harass to AKARAKA. Back over here in the natural expansion of AKARAKA, we can see we get that bunker up. That is going to be necessary against any early game Stalker pressure. He's all set against that. Get a reactor and a tech lab coming out here as well for AKARAKA. Now he's got 2 refineries up, but make note of the fact that he's only got two SCVs on either of these. So he's got a total of 4 SCVs mining gas. He's not in full swing Vespene mode at the moment, and that's pretty telling because that's pretty much implying that he's not going to be teching up too hard. If he went double refinery super early, we would assume there would be some crazy tech, but it looks like he'll actually be sticking primarily with bio for quite a time. And also coming out this engineering bay, we could very well actually be seeing a timing push from AKARAKA. Maybe a stim and weapons upgrade timing push. That is certainly a possibility. We'll have to keep an eye on what he has planned. Back over here for Genius, what do we got going on? We'll be seeing Sentry Heavy. That pretty much is to be expected with any fast expand build from a Protoss player. He has followed up there with that 1 robotics, and he's got 3 gateways. So 1 robo, 3 gate is his production building capabilities at the moment. We'll be seeing 2 observers pop out first. Obviously, all about that scouting intel. Genius also moving out here with the proxy pylon, scouting to see if an Expo gets dropped here. He may also try to use this for some late game harass. And another pylon. So Genius actually just setting up for the late game here. That's essentially his plan. Now, when we're looking at if this game is to push into the late game, the half of the map that players are likely to take, we're likely to see Genius take this base, this base, this base, and that base. Those are the probable expansions, where AKARAKA is likely to go over here, 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 and here. That's just kind of the safest. It is also possible to split it the other way, moving in this direction for AKARAKA, but this expansion would be very vulnerable to harass from Genius being so close to his main. So anyways, that's the likely split that we will be seeing, and setting up those pylons in advance is going to help him harass and deal with any pressure from his opponent. Another thing to keep in mind too about this proxy pylon placement, that's going to let him see any drops that happen to move in this direction. So if AKARAKA is moving out with some drop play, he will be bypassing these pylons most probably, and that is another advantage that Genius has to placing those down. And in fact, most likely that was his primary intention, but it does obviously also allow for some later harass. Now the first observer was sniped down there as we saw that scan, and the Marines were able to shoot that out. We also got that 1 missile turret over there to try to spot any additional observers moving down. AKARAKA getting scouted by Genius right now. Now, as we can see, he has finally started to tech up. He will be coming out double medevac very soon. We have another Rax coming out as well. Observer making its way back to the front just to spot the unit composition. Probably checking to see if there's any early game ghost or anything fancy like that. It's pretty Zealot heavy over here for Genius, actually. Zealot and Sentries are about all he's sitting on. Take a quick look there. Yeah, that is it. Now, he will be coming out with some Immortals as well. He works his way up to those 1-1 upgrades here, at least double forges. And in addition to that, also coming out with some more gateways. So gonna be some gateway heavy, throwing in some robo play, and then just coming out with some upgrades. No higher tech at the moment. We're gonna see no High Templar or Colossus quite as of yet. And there it is, finally prepared to make that transition as he drops that Twilight Council. Now he may keep going gateway heavy with that and just get charged Zealots and Blink Stalkers and just go for some mass upgrades. Now that's okay, but really not the greatest. In fact, last TVP, I saw that Protoss player go for that unit composition without any Colossus or High Templar. He had a major issue. So hopefully we do at the very least see some High Templar here, maybe throwing some Archons. Charge Zealot and Archon play also very strong. Back over here for AKARAKA, he is 0-1 at the moment. Got Stim Pack, got Combat Shield, got Concussive. Oh no, he does not have Concussive Shell. It's coming through. Level 1 weapons upgrade is done. Level 1 armor upgrade coming through. Now we do have Genius already at 1-1. He's actually starting off with that Blink research. And also coming out with another observer. Did he lose a second one? Yes, he did. No observers in play. Forcing Genius to make another one. Now here we go. Bio moving across the map. And this could be a problem because I don't think Genius is quite ready to deal with this. And there we go. AKARAKA trying to move forward. Ends up walking into a force field now. He'll be going straight for those rocks, losing 2 Marines and a Marauder on the high ground. Just wants to break down those rocks. That'll allow him to push on in. But that gave Genius just enough time to get another warp into units. And he might all of a sudden be all set against this AKARAKA. Not sure if he's going to be able to do too much damage. Look at those proxy pylons scattered all over the map. You take a look at the mini-map, you can see there's just pylons everywhere for Genius. And again, that's going to let him see any drop coming. No problem whatsoever. And there we go, stemmed up Bio, trying to engage with some beautiful force field placement, keeping those sentries out of harm's way as well as he keeps them tucked away behind the rest of that gateway army. Made them nice and safe and preventing them from getting sniped by any of AKARAKA's Bio. And we've got 1 medevac preparing to drop it again. He is very likely to walk by one of these pylons unless he makes it straight through there. Are you serious? Is that really going to happen? Is he really going to completely avoid? We got 1 pylon there, very close. Oh, scouted out. There it is. AKARAKA gets spotted. He's just going to respond by dropping and at least taking out that pylon so that future drops will be more effective. Let's take a look for that transition. 2-2 upgrades coming out here for Genius. Take a look at that production tab. We also have some charged Zealots that are going to be coming into play. And finally, working his way up to High Templar as well. There it is. Templar Archives right over there. The drop getting prepared, but not dropping yet. There's plenty of Stalkers, actually, as Genius did spot that with his pylon. He's not going to be too worried about it. And actually, look at that. Genius just re-dropping the pylon. He does not really care. He's like, AKARAKA, you can take it out, but I will just re-drop it. Now, back over here for AKARAKA, he is making a transition into Vikings, so we'll be sticking with his Bio, throwing in some Vikings. No ghost play quite yet. We also have a third base coming out over here for Genius. That is about halfway done at the moment. AKARAKA already finished his third. You can see both players pretty much taking their thirds at around 14 minutes game time. subtle little things to keep an eye on, guys. And when you're playing your own games, you know, make sure you're scouting, obviously, but in a macro-heavy game, as you can see, around 13 to 14-minute game time is when those expansions should be up and running, as long as, you know, you're not dealing with any all-ins or crazy 2-base pushes. But yeah, that's enough of that. I just really like, I think it's a good idea if you're looking to improve in StarCraft, you know, if you're playing and you're a competitive player, watch the pro games and look at some of the general things that they do. And if you can incorporate that in your own play, most of the time, chances are you're going to be pretty good. Obviously, scouting is always crucial. You don't want to take a third and a fourth if you're about to be slammed with a 200 army. But still, nevertheless, something to pay attention to. Genius is now 2-2 here with his ground army. 3-3 not coming out. He's also got a Bay coming out. Very, very interesting indeed. Now he has decided to go Archon heavy, not actually getting any High Templar. You can actually see Storm Research isn't coming through, so just using that Templar Archives to get some Archons into play. We have a Robotics Bay, which will be throwing some Colossus into the mix, and that's actually very interesting because I'm a little concerned for AKARAKA as he's going pretty heavy on these Vikings, and there's no Colossus at all. I am really surprised that he's going so Viking heavy before spotting any Colossus. Obviously, he has not seen any Colossus because there are no Colossus in play. There's yet to be a single Colossus made. Now, there's one in production now, but AKARAKA is a little bit too prepared for heavy Colossus numbers, which just aren't there. And what this means is that the rest of his force is suffering as all this production being dumped into these Vikings, which aren't going to be that useful. You don't need these many Vikings to take out what will be one Colossus in just a moment. So I'm a little bit concerned. Now, Genius could continue to go Colossus heavy, but if he doesn't, then AKARAKA is going to actually be in a tough spot. More upgrades coming out. We got 3-3 coming out here for Genius. And again, as mentioned, he is going with that Colossus production. AKARAKA also getting his upgrades. Nothing for the air yet, but he will have ship weapons level 1 coming through in just one moment. AKARAKA is also 1-1, working his way up to 2-2. We do have some Ghost in play. Let's take a look at those numbers, just the 2. I'm keeping an eye on the minimap to see when this medevac goes in, but it still has not moved in quite a while. That thing is not budged at all. All right, Genius moving down to protect his third base. Third base over here for AKARAKA. Again, some mining done. One Colossus in play, second coming through. How many Vikings do we have? 10. That's over. It's so overkill. I'm really worried for AKARAKA. He hasn't lost the game by any stretch of the imagination, but this is such overkill for such a small amount of Colossus numbers that I am concerned for him. I really am. We'll have to see how that engagement goes, though, whenever it does take place. Couple of Zealots moving forward towards this third base here. We got some stimmed up Marauders trying to chase them down. Let's see what they're going to be able to do. Sniping down one Zealot before he gets into range. Now, these Zealots should be target firing those SCVs. Oh, they are not. They are not, unfortunately. He should have stayed in and got some more SCV kills. All it would have taken was some target fire. We got a drop taking place over here. Medevac gets fed back at the same time. Drop over here. Let's see how much damage he's going to be able to do. Not too much damage happened down here, so there was a quick response by Genius, but up here, still some Marines and Marauders doing a bit of damage here. I want to take a quick look at the number of workers killed. AKARAKA managing to kill a total of 11 workers. That was an okay drop. Not the greatest, but it wasn't awful either. They're pretty much about even so far in terms of resources lost. AKARAKA continuing to make his push across the map. 2 Colossus in play, count them 2, and 11 Vikings. I still keep going back to that, but I'm still a little concerned for AKARAKA. Now, again, like I mentioned, that doesn't mean he's lost the game, even though he's overkilled here for the Vikings, and he's still producing them. Oh, man, facepalm. Because it will come down to the engagement. If he can land some clutch EMPs, then he's actually going to be able to do very well. But Genius right now is 3-3. Starting to come out with the shields upgrades. We got some more High Templar coming into play. And, ooh, we'll be seeing some High Templar drop harass. This will be obviously going to drop some storms, trying to do some damage with that. The other thing, too, is if he's planning an engagement, this is a great way to avoid EMP loss of your energy there for your High Templar. It's a fantastic method. You load them up there in that Warp Prism, but it does look like, I'm not sure what he's going to do with that. I'm not sure if he's planning to drop and do Econ Harass or if he's using this for engagement. Basically, what this does here, you load up the High Templar, so when Ghost EMP, the High Templar don't lose their energy, and then you drop the High Templar and you can storm. Now, we are going to be seeing AKARAKA push forward here, and all the Vikings moving right now into the Blink Stalkers, and oh my gosh, what is he doing sitting so close there? He's going to be losing those Colossus there. I don't think he's too worried. Archon's moving forward. We're going to see High Templar moving to the backside. Here come the storms. Hopefully, here come the storms. What is he doing? No storms from Genius. I don't know. I do not know why he did not storm there. He set himself up perfectly. High Templar in the back. Did he not have the energy? That may have been it. It looked like he did, though. I am not so sure. Even with that, even with losing those High Templar, not storming at all, Genius isn't out of this game yet. As you can see, AKARAKA, again, sitting with so many Vikings, it meant he lacked much of a bio army, and Genius will be able to get another warp in or two and pull in with these units for a flank, and that should be enough to overwhelm AKARAKA. So AKARAKA's force has been stopped here. His push is pretty much no longer effective now. He did manage to stop this base from getting completed, but still, they're about even in terms of resource. I am so disappointed. Oh my gosh, Genius was perfectly set up there with those High Templar. I'm still baffled as to why he didn't storm. My only conclusion is that he didn't have enough energy, but I really felt like he did. It looked like he did, just looking at the health bars and seeing the energy on there. I don't know though. Who knows? You guys, I'm sure you guys will be able to figure it out. We're gonna see a very, very Archon heavy transition coming out here for Genius. He's in with 6 Archons right now. That's a lot, especially since he doesn't have much of an army. Besides those Archons, only 9 Zealots and 4 Stalkers. He's got 2 more High Templar as well in play, although I don't know where they are. They're probably chilling out at the, there we go, they're defending bases. That's what they're doing. 1 High Templar here, 1 High Templar there. So, anyways, that is enough of that. So, once more, we do have this expansion here for AKARAKA. Economically, it does look like AKARAKA is a little bit ahead, at least in terms of minerals being gathered. You can see he's behind a gas. With that said, though, you know, Terran players aren't as gas dependent as Protoss are. Like, especially going bio heavy, you really don't need as much gas. It's not that vital for you. So Zealots moving right now into the 3rd base, and AKARAKA will be forced off the line there and to pull back with all of his bio just to deal with this. Zealots doing what they can for damage here. One Zealot continuing to try to chase down those SCVs. They will actually be trying to drop down. I don't know why Genius is not target firing these things. He should have just stuck there with that refinery, at least tried to drop it before he lost his army. And again, the last engagement where he could have target fired those SCVs. We'll be seeing a High Templar drop come down very soon here for Genius as he prepares to drop over here and get some storms down. Let's see how effective this is going to be. Here it comes, War Prism. Again, drop down. There are the storms, and the High Templar decimating some of those SCVs. Total of 15 killed so far in this game. So there you go, a little bit of Genius there. A little bit of a harass there by Genius. 3 Vikings in play. We got some more upgrades coming out for those air units. 6 Vikings total in play. 3 Vikings were trying to chase down that War Prism, wherever that is now. There it is. And we're going to see a couple more Zealots move in, and again, trying to do more damage. One big thing, though, is he keeps forcing these SCVs off the line and also forcing AKARAKA to pull all the way back. One thing this type of harass is doing for Genius is it's just buying him plenty of time. He's getting lots and lots of time to rebuild his army. You can see right now it's 200 supply. He is capped. High Templar back in this War Prism. Hopefully we see this time him actually do this properly. We do have a nuke getting landed down, though. These are defensive nukes, as you can see, forcing Genius to push back. You end up canceling those, but still actually ends up using the nuke. If you start it, you can't really stop it. It still uses up that nuke, so it forces you to actually recreate it. A ton of Vikings coming into play. How many Colossus do we have? He's going so Viking overkill. I guess there's 3 Colossus, so it may not be that bad, but he's got quite a bit. Ghost moving forward. We're going to see some more defensive nuke action. There's some nice EMPs getting laid down, and look at that. Again, the High Templar nice and safe from that EMPs. Walking, unfortunately, right into that missile turret. Needs to be careful. Charge Zealots moving forward. We got those Archons moving forward as well. Those cannot be kited at all by those concussive shells. Oh, the War Prism filled with High Templar gets sniped down by all those Vikings. Very nice there by AKARAKA, as AKARAKA has been able to defend this expansion. Genius forced to push back. Stimmed up Bio, chasing him down. Trying to get down to that Archon. I think he's going to make it back. Yeah, nice and safe. There you go, buddy, Archon. You stick in the back. Try to stay as safe as possible. A few more High Templar sitting back here. Bio stimming up. He's away from all that splash damage. Those Vikings get dropped, though, as Genius pulls back. And here are the storms. Finally landing some storm on the Bio. Been waiting for that all game. I think that's our first major storm on the actual infantry that we've seen this entire game. And hell, it's about time. All right, so this expansion over here for Genius up and running. He's got more and more units coming out. Both players are pretty much fully upgraded right now. There it is, 3-3-2. 2 being the shields there for Genius. AKARAKA is 3-3. Also his air units, I want to see where those are at. I don't even know where his Vikings are right now. I'm not sure if he has any. Another defensive nuke. It gets placed down. Following that up with an EMP. Going to take advantage of this by chasing down some of those units and trying to get some kills as they are retreating. No drops or anything like that taking place here at all for AKARAKA. And I don't believe there are any here for Genius as well. Nope, nothing quite as of yet. Force just sitting idly over here. We've got another nuke coming in production. None already done. So he's actually going to have to finish this before he can drop a defensive nuke again. Would like to see AKARAKA take another base, as at the moment we have got Genius on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases. Only mining from, actually no, wow, he's mining from like basically 4.5. That is unbelievable. So Genius, an economic advantage right now, pretty distinctly there, as you can see. And oh, Zealot's moving down into this attempted expansion. All those SCVs forced back, end up taking a few SCV losses. And as soon as he pulls away with his army, Genius moves up into that middle expansion. The bio a little bit out of position, trying to push forward. Get some more High Templar loaded up in the War Prism here. Are we finally going to see this work? Genius, you're going to do it right this time. There it is, finally dropping those High Templar, landing those storms. And this could be it. Genius taking down the expansion. Beautiful storm play on that bio. Expansion gets dropped. Genius has still got so much here. And there it is, guys, the GG from AKARAKA. Genius was able to distract AKARAKA's forces with a little Zealot attack there in the upper left corner. As soon as he moved out, we saw Genius move in, and he was able to then take out one of 2 mining expansions for AKARAKA, and at that point he pretty much had the game. We're also going to see some nice War Prism and High Templar drop harass here, landing the High Templar to get some amazing storms off. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this game here between Genius and AKARAKA. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.